Go.
All right, great. So I'm Chef Benita Woods, and I'm here in our hospice care kitchen with Chef Carlos Tapia, and behind the camera, Chef Adam Schroeder. Hi, Adam. He's remaining very silent right now. So anyway, we got a huge response to our recent cooking video, Burning American Cheese, in which we flamed American cheese up against Colby Jack cheese. And one person said they would like to see a comparison of store-bought American cheese to homemade American cheese. So we're doing that today. I've never made American cheese before. I have made like other kinds of cheese because I'm a chef. I love making food and I love going to farms and messing around. But this is my first time here live on video making American cheese food product from scratch. I got the recipe online. I searched a whole bunch of recipes and they all seem to be the exact same recipe. So if you want to make it yourself, you'll go online and come up with a recipe. So here we have 2 cups of shredded cheddar and jack cheese. And that's going in the food processor. There we go. And then we have some gelatin. We melted 1½ teaspoons of gelatin in 1 tablespoon of water. The thing to remember with gelatin is when you use it, you can use a liquid gelatin, just, you need to then adjust the liquids in your recipe. Gelatin responds to fat and to temperature, so you don't want it in hot water, or the poor little protein in the gelatin will melt away and I'll have trouble coming back. And you don't want it up against a lot of fat, which is why we're melting it in water or softening it, reviving it, instead of in the milk. Okay, here we have some powdered milk, and if, like me, you're feeling lazy, and I went into my pantry at home to look at like the Coffee Mate that we have for when we go like backpacking. No, that's not pure powdered milk. That's got all kinds of stuff in it. So you want to go with pure powdered milk and a little bit of cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is awesome. It's like a drying agent. So it's an important element. A little bit goes a long way. We just brought some whole milk up to a boil, and we're putting that in here. The recipe said to like pulse the cheese in the food processor before adding the other ingredients, but this is already shredded feather level cheese, so we're not going to. All right, now we're going to let her rip. All right, and I'm going to scrape it down a little bit, give it a chance to become a little more consistent. Now the recipe said to just keep processing it until it's like really smooth. And if you look at here, Adam, bring it in there. Now you can see it's becoming more of like one homogeneous item instead of like a bunch of shredded stuff. I'm going to scrape it down. I'm going to scrape it down one more time. So now you can still like see like the curds and the fat are not quite pasty. The smoother you puree it, the smoother the final cheese will be. And the one email I got from so many people was they don't care if American cheese is more or less healthy. They love the way it melts on a burger. That was more important than like is it natural or healthful. And the thing that I ask of people, it's not you must eat healthfully or you have to eat this or you can't eat that. What I ask of everyone is just educate yourself on the food you eat and then make your own personal choices from a place of knowledge. If putting cheese that will have a smooth melt on your burger is important to you, then at least you know what you are going for and why. Ooh, that was loud. All right, here we go. That looks pretty smooth to me.
It smells good too.
It does. It does. Oh, there was a little bit of salt in that mixture too. I forgot to mention that. Usually I sort of cook without salt, but I think when making cheese, you really can't miss it. Now, the recipes I saw came with 2 different techniques for making your American cheese. One was, both of them said plastic wine because it will stick to your pan. One was get one of those little mini, like, pound cake loaves and put it in there, and then you can slice it. It has to congeal for 3 hours to overnight before you can slice it. The other one is just spread a thin layer on a sheet pan, and then it'll congeal pretty quick, and then you just slice into the American cheese square size that you want. So we're going to do that because we are not known for our patience. And this is thick. This recipe is supposed to yield 1 pound, 1 pound I think of cheese, which is roughly the same amount that you get in. Ready?
We're good.
You got us? Okay, we're back. All right, we had some technical difficulties. That's what happens when you give cameras to chefs. Okay, so I'm just going to smooth this between 2 sheets. Because the idea of taking like a rolling pin or anything like that to a gelatin cheese product strikes me as ridiculous. Now, when we looked at the nutritional value of this recipe versus the Kraft Singles, this recipe had the calories were like within 1 or 2 calories per serving. The calories or the fat content of this was a little higher. The sodium was about 2/3 of the Kraft Singles. So I'm going to keep flattening this. I'm not going to make you all watch. And then after we let it congeal and rest for the amount of time it has to, we're going to cut a slice. And then this is our video, Burning American Cheese, making it. We're going to have a follow-up video, Burning American Cheese, Kraft versus Scratch. So we invite you to jump over to Burning American Cheese, Kraft versus Scratch to see how this will compare when we put it under the torch to the mass-produced American cheese. And when we do that video, I will tell you about some of the science behind the Kraft American cheese and why it can sit at room temperature for months on end without going moldy. Take care. Catch up with you later.